What's up, guys? Welcome back to Chits and Chats, and today we're gonna bring you an entire top 10 list while sitting like this. No,
How do you guys feel about it?
My leg is already going numb.
Oh, that's not nice.
So, guys, it's that time of year again. Things are starting to warm up a little bit. Actually, we just had a cold front move in.
We did. It was really warm today, and literally, like, within 10 seconds.
I'm glad I didn't fall asleep, though, because I was trying to take a nap there, and I ended up waking up because it was so cold. But if I would have fallen asleep, I don't know if I would have woken back up.
It wasn't quite that cold.
All right, well, whatever. So, guys, here's the thing. It's that time of year. You already know, okay? You're either going to love it, or you're going to hate it, or you're going to like it, or you just won't care, okay? But it's February, guys. Need I say more? Do I need to say more?
I mean, it depends. There's a lot of things that happen in February.
Name one other thing that happened in February.
It's Black History Month.
Okay, that is okay, guys. That is incredibly important. It really is. Sorry. It's very late.
Martin Luther King Day happened.
I am very tired. And guys, let me just say this, okay? I don't think about holidays ever really because I don't actually work a full-time job anymore. So when I worked a full-time job, the thing you looked forward to like 72 days in advance was the next holiday. Right after you got back from break, people started marking their calendars, okay? So I don't know any holiday. I just know it's Valentine's Day because I have to plan for it. But yes. So very proud of the incredible and very rich history behind Black History Month. Yeah. So guys, even though it's more important, we are going to be doing our top 10 games for couples today. Keep in mind, okay, this is not going to be a list full of just games that are like romantic and just for couples in the sense that it's like a date night game. Not all these are just gonna be date games, okay? You can play them while on a date, absolutely. We've been a couple for 8 years, okay? So we know a thing or two, all right?
Married couple.
Married couple, yes. So I will let you kick this one off.
Okay.
Even though I should have been asked if you wanted to do that.
Well, that's fine.
That would have been the right thing to do as a couple, as a successful couple.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. You're going first, all right?
Okay, my number 10 is Carcassonne. Nice. Why? So, with this game, automatically when I think about Carcassonne, I think of we always play it on the floor.
We do.
We always play it on the floor.
That's
we have an
great.
expansion. I don't know what the expansion is. It's the gardens.
Gardens and gnomes or something.
It's not gardens and
it's
gnomes.
It's the one with the abbots. It has an abbot in
yeah.
it. So it's actually a really good one. I just don't know the name.
So anyway, so we sprawled out on the floor. And so I always think of Carcassonne as more of like a physical game. Like it's
Come again?
Like
we're getting through the game, guys. Don't worry.
But I mean, there's more opportunity to like flirt and move around, and like get close to someone as opposed to just like sitting next to him and not like Carcassonne's very like in your face.
Yeah.
You talk the whole time.
You're crossing hands, crossing arms all the time.
Exactly. And we kind of like moved around on the ground because our expansion made it.
I mean, it's just funny. It's just funny to like picture that. We're not. We just play normally. But
yeah, we just play normally.
It's just on a carpet.
So big,
you get a little bit of takeout and you throw it on the carpet and you get out Carcassonne and you just have a good time. So yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a really good one. So okay.
And I also want to preface that some of the games on my list are just games that I prefer with just two people.
Exactly.
So it's not necessarily like a light date, fluffy game. That's what I was trying to say. It's a game that's good for two people.
So my number 10, guys, is Ganz schön clever. You remember that one? She's honestly trying to think if she's played that game because this happens all the time with games that are super popular. She's like, wait, what was that one again? This is called That's Pretty Clever. Okay, so this is a game all about rolling dice. It's like a Yahtzee style light game. Still not getting it. We just played across the couch the other night. Remember at my parents' house, we had it like on the little armrest and we played like across the couch. It was actually a lot of fun.
Really good game. Yeah.
We literally played sitting on the couch, like with the whole board, like right on the armchair. It was a lot of fun. And it's all about rolling dice and it's like a Yahtzee style. So there's tons of different ways to score points and it's never aggressive, but there's just enough. The trick here is that if you choose a dice, the other person gets to take the dice that are lower than that number and use them to their advantage. So it's just a fun, lighthearted game with a little bit of aggression, a little bit of feistiness. My number 10.
Awesome.
Number 9.
You want to go do your
Okay, I'll do my number 9. My number 9, guys, golly, like it's not even fair. Seven Wonders Duel. Seven Wonders Duel is, need I say more? It's a duel, okay? It's a great 2-player game. It's not super... The whole idea of play interaction in this game is taking cards that you need, and they might accidentally... There's a great chance that it's one of the cards that the opponent needs as well.
Especially if you play like he does.
Yeah, but I mean, it's meant to be played like that.
Yes,
it's a duel,
It's a duel.
But it's never something where you feel like you've invested so much time that you're gonna get angry over it, or it's gonna ruin the rest of the night. I don't think. Maybe, but it's very quick, and you're just picking up these cards, using them for different things. It could be resources, they could be used to build your wonder, or science, or military, or whatever. But it's just a fun game where there's just enough aggression in taking these cards that you really want, and a bit of suspense to keep your tension really on the game being played. I love it.
Yeah, it's good. My number 9 is Lian.
What?
I know.
You remember that game? Put that on there.
When I was thinking about my top 10 list, I was like, I actually like that game for 2-player. I don't think I would want to play. Is it just a 2-player game?
What's the full name of it?
Lian.
Yeah, she loves that game. At the Gates of Loyang, it's close enough.
At the Gates of Loyang.
It's in like
Sorry.
At the Gates is like 12-point font, so
Yeah.
Loyang is what you see. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, I just like the gardening theme. You get like the
little
little
bit of
turnips
veg.
and the pumpkins and the bok choy. And then you get to draft cards with players. And so the player interaction is really good.
It's a weird card draft type of thing. I'm not 100% sure. If I pulled it out right now, I'd have no idea how to do the card drafting aspect. You have to do something weird.
I remember it very well.
Do you really?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I almost want to test that out, but...
Well, yeah. And the characters, like sometimes you have characters that you can steal someone else's crops, I guess. And you're preparing orders. It's
fun to watch both players building this little it is a garden. It's a little garden. Yeah, you're harvesting crops. You're doing these crops and then you're using those crops to
fill orders.
Yeah. And I think that's the interesting part is the scoring, because it's every point in this game is so incredibly important and hard to get that it's fun watching somebody get one more point and you're like, dude, you're basically one whole round ahead of me. Yeah. And then you're just trying the whole time to catch up to that person. It's just fun.
The person usually only wins by one. The person
usually it's just a one point. Yep. Yeah. Good stuff. So go ahead and do number 8.
So my number 8 is Obsession.
Is it? Sorry, we've done a couple takes. All right.
Don't say that. Okay. We're doing another one right now.
All right.
So my number... So my number 8 is Obsession. I think it's the first game he gave me, so that makes it extra special.
And the fact that she thinks it is and isn't 100% sure is just kind of confirms that how special it was. Go ahead.
Right. I love the romance about it. I love the Victorian England era, that time period. I love Pride and Prejudice, love Downton Abbey. So just the romance and the feel of the game
is a good show.
What I like.
Downton Abbey is a good show. It is a great highly recommend. And that's hard for me to say. And I wasn't ready to say it, but I did anyway. So.
And it took him 3 tries. And he finally did it, and then he loved it.
Yep. I couldn't get through the episode. I probably lasted 2 or 3 minutes, and that was with nodding off. And then after I made it through the first, I was committed 100%. But Obsession captures that, embraces that whole feel of that time period. And it's always about romance. It really is. There's always drama and other things, but this game is about the romance of it. And the
we
courting.
Have the expansion, don't we?
We have everything. We have the big box.
Okay, we have the big
box. That's how much we, maybe me more than her. I really like the game. I might like it more than her. She does, honestly.
He does.
But, and I shouldn't because I really don't enjoy that time period that much, but I love this game. I really do. And I got the fat big box with everything in it with the Kickstarter, so happy.
Awesome.
Okay. Number 8 for me, guys, is going to be Targi. Targi is, again, it's not sexy. No. Okay. It's not romantic, and it might even ruin a night or two. Not sure because you can block, but you don't care that much about Targi. But it's great because it's literally a 2-player game. A lot of these are actually just 2-player games, but not a lot. But Targi definitely is, and it's cool because you basically have this arena or arena, you have this grid of cards, and you're basically placing these pawns, which are going to intersect, and everywhere there's an intersection is going to be a card you get, and you're going to be able to use the actions of where you place it on the outside of the grid. And it's just very quick, a lot of action and interaction, and you're just constantly getting things. But those things are, you have a very clear objective in the game, and you're trying to go for very specific cards, and somebody can easily snipe that because you cannot place a pawn opposite to another player's pawn. So they can easily take that from you, and they might not even be trying to. You know what I mean? But they just do, and you just got to figure your way out. Got to figure your way out of it.
Yeah.
So, great 2-player game, great game for couples.
Awesome.
My number 7 is going to be Keyflower. Keyflower is an amazing 2-player game, and I'm going to tell you why, because it's all about bidding. It's a very unique game. It's the only one we have that it has to do with bidding. And the reason it's so much fun for 2 players is because there's this constant suspense of what somebody has behind their screen, because you never know. You just see them just scooping, raking in these meeps off the boat, and you never know what they really have. But you keep seeing them put these, they have to use these meeples for bidding on these tiles. And the more you can see them put like 8 different rids out there, and you're like, there's no way. There's no way they have any more rids behind their screen. So you put down a rid on this other tile, and they put down 2 more, and you're just, how do you have that many rids? And so then you can block people by using different colors, because once a color is assigned to a tile, you can no longer put a different color there. And it is just a great bidding game with constant suspense and just questioning, what do you have?
And it's definitely best for 2 players, because we played with 4 players one time, and I was about to slaughter everybody in the game.
Yes.
And I didn't put out one of my extra meeples like I should have, and someone came in.
Somebody took it.
My tile.
And the worst part is, it was so his wife could win. So this is not a game that is for couples playing with other couples, all right?
But because he was so ruthless in sniping my tile, she hates the game.
She does. It ruined it for everybody.
It ruined it.
So don't.
It ruined it for the girls. So
yes.
just.
It's not for multiple couples. One couple is enough. Okay. So
it's fun to play with just him, but
yep.
Yeah. My number 7 is Grand Austria Hotel, which is actually one of his favorites.
One of my favorites of all time.
We have played it a lot, and he's always down to play that. Like it's not even a short game. I really don't know why I choose that one over. It's just I do. So go ahead and tell them why I do. You know me. So it's basically like a B&B. So you have customers, you have to prepare your rooms for them to stay, and you have to prepare their meals, and it's just fun. There's good player interaction because you can take someone else's cards.
Well, you can take somebody else's dice. I don't know if you can take. Oh, you could. Yeah, sorry. You can take their customers.
Yeah,
sorry. Yes.
Yeah, their customers.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Why did I cut you off?
It's okay. And there's dice, and we love rolling dice.
It's that simple, honestly, because it's cool because you can always. So it's based on how many of those die per column. So there's different actions you can do, and how many dice of a certain number are under that is how many of those actions you can do. And so it's the randomness of that.
Yeah.
So you have to constantly change your strategy. It's not even that you change your strategy. It's that you just have to, you might have a better
adapt.
or worse version of that strategy because there's just not enough dice. And I love that die rolling aspect.
Yeah. The luck of the roll So my number 6 is Arboretum. One, it is a beautiful game. I love the cards. I love the different colors. They're so vibrant. The way it plays.
There's fall. I think it's the fall maples. I'm pretty sure there's fall maples in there.
Yeah, but there's purple, there's dogwood, there's pinks.
Yes, there are.
There's all different. I think there's even blue. Is there a blue tree?
I think there's like a blue spruce. Isn't that something?
They're so beautiful. One of the reasons why I love it is the gameplay is so unique. Like you have to lay your cards in a certain pattern, and different patterns give you more points than the. So different patterns
surprise you, girl.
Give you more points, and the player interaction is really good because again, he can take one of the cards that I desperately need to fulfill my pattern that'll give me multiple points, and he can take that and my pattern's just done for. So you do rows and columns and bonuses based on where you place them, and it's just a fun, and it doesn't look like it's that intricate or that heavy, but for just a card laying game, I feel like it's really on the heavy side.
There's some tough choices to make. Number 6 for me is going to be Splendor, obviously. You know what I mean? Splendor could be 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You know what I mean? But it's number 6. So Splendor is great. Guys, it is a perfect game for 2 players. It is a perfect game for a couple. The tokens the gems feel amazing. It's beautiful to look at because it's all about the gems and the jewels. And there's a lot of in-depth strategy. It really is. But the most fun part about it is that it's a race. That's what we've realized. It is a race to the finish. And I lose 95% of the time, and I'm still excited to play.
Yes.
Because the wife, I don't know what you do differently. I heap gems that are worthless.
He hoards the worthless gems.
They might as well just be like asphalt.
To build up to the big ones. And
yes.
I start going after the big ones first. And I think that's the difference.
Exactly. That's what and it doesn't work out for me normally.
All of my cards have victory points on them. He usually has like a couple of stacks that have none. So
I get to the point where I'm like, all right, I can buy anything I want. And I look over and I'm like 14, 15, 16, excuse me. And the crazy part about that game and what's really fun, and it happens so often, is that she will be, or I will be, it's usually, I think, me being in a position where I have about 14 points. No, maybe like 13. And I finish the game at 16. And she's just sitting there just scanning. And you can see it. And you just know it's coming. And it's this last big move that gets her 1 more point than me. Or she ties the game and breaks the tie by something she always has. And it's just fun, that last minute of suspense. Or it's actually hilarious.
Extra turn after someone ends the game is like...
That extra turn is you're just sitting there just... But it's also hilarious if somebody does nothing. They have a ton of cards and it looks like they're doing a lot and they end up doing nothing and the other person's won. And it's just it's infinitely replayable. Number 6.
We actually did a playthrough on Splendor, right?
Yes.
Yes, we did. So go check it out if you
please do.
Haven't looked at it yet.
All right, number 5.
My number 5 is Lord of the Rings.
Good choice.
It's a co-op, which I don't typically like co-op games, but this one is app driven, and you basically explore these landscape and tiles, and you uncover mysteries, and you go and you fight enemies and orcs and all kinds of things. It's very immersive. That's a great word. Great choice of word. Yep, I couldn't find it. But yes, that's exactly what it is. And if you love Lord of the Rings, it definitely embodies that feel, that whole movie.
You know how I knew to use that word? Not saying that it's on my list, but if it were, it was a word I was going to say for then. But okay, go ahead. It does embody the movie really well. Go ahead.
But it's great.
Yes, it is. Incredible adventure. So my number 5 is going to be Obsession. Again, we're not going to rehash everything that we just rehashed, except that I would take the time to rehash it because it's important to know how much love was put into this game by the designer. And that's one thing I respect about him. You can see the passion that he had for this era, and he brought everything, all the aspects of what, I don't know enough about it to know if he brought all the aspects really, but it seems like all the characteristics, the essence of that time period is captured in that game. And again, it's all about romance and courting and trying to be you're trying to make your family eligible for courting, and you're trying to build up your estate and have events, and it feels like a garden party, a garden party you never knew you wanted to have, and now you can.
We didn't know how well he did the theme of the game until we saw Downton Abbey, and then we were like, oh my goodness, he's spot on
this
Obsession.
Is literally the game.
So
incredible game. My number 4 is interesting. It's actually a game that I had heard about for years, and I never knew anything about it because it was a little bit too gnarly, I thought, or a little bit too just out there for me. And I also felt like it was a lifestyle, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it kind of is, but it's Android Netrunner. That right there is a look of.
Have I played that game?
We played that game together?
Have I played that?
Yes, we own it. And we played it 3 or 4 times probably. Yes. So Android Netrunner, the reason it's such a good game, and again, the theme is not. It's not something if you're on a date night or whatever. Unless she's a gamer, then
unless she's into space.
It's sold. Yes. Right? More about games. I mean, I don't.
Oh.
If she's or coding? He's into games. There's hacking, and I just do it. All right.
I'm trying to figure out which game it is.
I know she is.
Okay.
So anyway, Android Netrunner is a 2-player specific game, and the reason it's so much fun for a couple is because it's 2 players. But it's also one of those games that you have to be. It's the nature of the game is to be cutthroat. You're trying to win. You're trying to beat your opponent. But since you know that, you guys can have this aggression and have this fun little fist. That's not a great word to use for couples.
No, it's not.
We don't fist fight, no. But just a little sock and bop, you know what I mean? And you just sit on the other side of the table. One person's a corporation, one person's a runner, which is basically a hacker. And so I'm sitting there, if I'm the corporation, trying to build up these servers all around me that she won't know what those are until she tries to run at my servers. I'm trying to build like basically firewall. It's called ice. And I have these potential decoys behind all the ice so she could work and just break down all that ice with her insane program, spending all this money that she doesn't really have to break it all down, and it's a decoy. Or it's something, or it's just victory points. Either way, it's just a constant battle, and it is a lot of fun for a couple. It is, I highly recommend. I seriously did not think I was going to like this game, guys. This game is one, it's just cards. You can take it anywhere, pop it out. Boom,
we did play it like 3 times in a row.
We did.
So that we could both get a feel for each side. My number 4 is Pandemic Legacy.
Okay.
Another co-op game. Again, I'm not a fan of co-op games normally, and I don't like the base. I don't really like the base part of Pandemic.
Yes, the base.
I like the legacy part where you destroy the board, you're constantly writing a story together, and it just feels like you're being productive and moving down this
ever-changing storyline.
Yeah, you're basically creating a movie together, and that's just...
It does feel like that. It really does feel like this insane pandemic outbreak style movie, and the fact that you have passports and all that stuff, and the amount of immersion is absolutely unparalleled to any game we have ever played, and it is so much fun the whole time because you're taking psychological tests together on the cards. You're filling out these passports, and you were like talking the whole time, looking at these. I'm just creating this guy. We're pulling stickers off sheets together,
creating our aliases.
Incredible game for 2.
Yeah,
incredible. It's a great game for I think any amount of people, but for a couple, spot on, 100%. Now, that game didn't make my list, but it's because
I'm surprised.
It's because it's too obvious for me.
Yeah,
because it's so good. It's so good. But I wanted to bring some games that we haven't talked about too much.
Right. It's more of a relationship. Like if you're in a relationship with someone, it's a good game. Dating, not so much. Because you kind of have to commit to it, though.
You do have to commit to it. You better make sure that relationship going to hold.
Because if she's making aliases and then you bring another girl in to try and play that game, obviously that's not going to go over well. So
yeah, she better not see that other.
Be in a committed relationship before you break that one out.
And if it doesn't work out, you're going to still have to get together to finish the game. That's going to be weird. Okay, so anyway.
Or you're going to have to play by yourself.
Yeah, that's going to be even worse. Speaking of games that we haven't talked about a lot, Lord of the Rings is my number 3.
Oh,
Lord of the Rings is one of the best adventure games I've ever played. I'm going to be honest, there was a whole phase I had with board games where I typed into Google, I want an adventure-style board game that isn't... I'm not a person that's into super high fantasy. I really don't like a lot of super high fantasy. Neither of us do. We're not really high fantasy dragons and warlocks, but we love Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. Okay, we absolutely love the whole trilogy. The Hobbit is questionable. Hobbit's all right. Ugh, I felt weird saying that.
He likes the Hobbit. I
like the first one, and it's just the first 30 minutes of it, the feeling you get, it's just nostalgic.
Where they're seeing and they're...
Yeah, it's just that nostalgia of seeing the Fellowship of the Ring the first time. But after that, it falls off hard. Very hard.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. It was just a little bit more of that Lord of the Rings that I wanted. So anyway, the game, incredible adventure for two people, as she said, or any amount of people. We played with our cousins. A lot of fun. It is app-driven, as she said. And it's just so cool to work together for a common goal, but you're all exploring on your own, and you really care about what's happening, and you have to say, hey, should we go this way? You have to work things out together, and you're in it together for the good or for the bad, for better or for worse, for richer or poorer. Sound familiar?
And I play with Legolas.
You always pick Legolas because he's absolutely broken, and he's the most fun to play with. Yes, I usually get, I think I get Gimli.
You do get Gimli. But they work really well together. So if
they actually do. They're completely broken.
Yeah, if you try that game, that's a really good combination.
Absolutely epic adventure. And if you are looking for that style of adventure, it is not just put a person on a map and move them a square. There's a lot that goes on in a constantly changing storyline, constantly changing environments on the board. One of the coolest ones was it was like a tavern where there's a garden outside. You have to explore in the bushes, and then you have campfires and all these people talking around them, and you have to figure out who this snake is in there. Oh my golly, get it done.
Yes,
you're welcome. You made that game? Well, you're welcome. Okay, number 2, guys. We're getting down to it. Wow, number 2 for me. I might spoil this one because I think it's on your list too. But the Unlock series.
It's number 2 for me as well.
Oh, you know what? We'll just talk about it at the same time then. Number 2 for both of us is Unlock. And this game, when I first thought about it, it was hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that I was going to play a game one time, and it was a deck of cards, and I'm paying over $10 for it. And I didn't buy it because I couldn't wrap my head around it. But then I found it on sale at GameStop. They were selling it for like $4, so I just loaded my cart, okay? Maxed it out and got as many as I could. And they turned out to be one of the best experiences for a group of people, and especially 2 people, because with a group of people, you have to take one card. In the cards, you got to breathe on each other. You know what I mean? If you're really trying to look at that one card, there's clues all in it.
Yeah.
And so you're passing it around. With 2 players, you're just both sitting there looking at it and really trying. Guys, these games are an escape room in a deck of cards.
Yeah.
And it's hard to understand that they're going to bring in all these different clues that you have to use to figure out this puzzle, right? But the cards themselves turn into maps. They turn into keys, all the machines. There's some machines you have to type into the app in your phone. Amazing experience.
And the tiny details that they put in each of the cards that you can totally overlook. So you have to literally study every centimeter, every millimeter of this tiny card so that you don't miss anything.
It is frustrating though when you get to the end and you realize you forgot something, and there's one card 40 cards back that has one little faded number in the background. That's a little frustrating, but to work together, there's no better. You would have it's always going to be fun with 2 people, especially. And how much money do you pay for an escape room? A lot. Okay, unless it's on Groupon, which I'm pretty sure that's the only place people buy escape room stuff. But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But
yeah, it's better with 2 people, because when we played with 4 people that one time, it was like there was too much, there were too many ideas.
Too many opinions, and it led you astray.
Right, and it was just a distraction, so you couldn't really get to the focal point of the card, so 2-player.
Now, what's wild about it, one more thing, is that the designers knew the game so well that they actually knew what clues you're going to take, and they put these decoy cards in there where they knew what you were thinking, the logic. They knew they were leading you on this path, and you'd go find a card and it would say nope,
and it's and they give you like a skull and crossbones, and this red alarm goes off, and you're like, oh my goodness.
All right, we get it. Okay, you got us. Jeez. So number 2 Unlock for both of us. Now I'll let you do number 1 first.
Okay. But when I was thinking about this list, this is the first game that popped into my head, and it rose to the top immediately. You ready?
Yep.
Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Kiss me right now.
Is that what yours is? Is yours number 1 too? Oh my goodness.
Castles of Mad King Ludwig for both of us. Yes.
2.
Man.
Yes.
This is what happens after 8 years, boys and girls.
And we haven't played that game in so long. And I was when I was thinking about this, I was a little mad about it.
I know.
That we haven't gotten it out.
I'm sorry. Should I apologize?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
But I was like, why haven't we played that game?
Been a little bit on edge lately.
That might be why. We're going to play that game right after we finish this video. Yes. But you want to go ahead.
So I know I love your enthusiasm about it. You're upset. You obviously need to get a little bit off your chest. So go ahead.
You're building this castle with all these different size and shaped rooms, and you have bonus points when you connect them together, and you have to what?
Oh, it sounds like a speech. I was just gonna cheers when you're done.
Oh, okay. And the person, what's frustrating but also amazing about the game is the person before you gets to decide how much money you're going to pay for the
master builder. So it's not
the master builder
necessarily every turn it switches. So
right. Well, I mean,
close enough.
You always go
close enough. Go ahead.
The master builder, and this game is fun with more than 2 people. But I just like 2-player games because we like it so much for 2 players that we actually we add tiles to the 2-player game because it just doesn't last long enough. Seriously, that's the way to do it. We play basically 3-player rules. Yeah. So the master builder gets to decide how much you're going to pay. Like they look at your castle and they're like, oh, she needs or he needs this.
It's usually pretty obvious what you're going for.
Yeah. So they make you pay like tons of money for it. And so it's just.
But you can't price it too high, or that person. You have to know. You have to be inside the person's head. You have to know the person, kind of.
There's a lot of psychology in that.
There is. You have to know how much they're willing to spend. You want to do it just high enough that they're just
because they have to pay you. They have to pay the master builder the money, and so if they don't want you to have all that money, then they won't buy it and they'll save it for their turn. And
I've been the master builder and tried to rearrange something so she couldn't get it, and then I realized, wow, I can't even afford it now. Yeah. So it's just that whole aspect of setting a price,
so unique,
and it's never. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. It does get a little bit intense sometimes because you only have so much money. It's annoying because what will happen is I'll pay her like 12 coin or whatever or something. I don't know what the actual price is for a little baby square that I put on my board, and it should be like pass and just take her 3,000 coin or whatever it is, and I'm just sitting there and she has a pile of cash. So frustrating, and she does that all the time. But another thing I love about that game is the scoring is super unique. The way you score things is incredibly unique. And it all is all based on adjacency, and these little the tiles themselves have certain bonuses for the types of rooms that are adjacent and touching and all these things, and so you get extra bonuses for those. And the objectives are a lot of fun for me. I love games that are heavily based on objective cards, not too heavily, but
you get your own objectives, and then there's overall objectives,
exactly,
right?
Yes. Yeah. So you have those overall objectives that everybody's fighting for, and you can see who's winning that. So you're racing against that person for those, but you're also trying to just stack. And there's tiles that actually give you additional bonus cards that you can collect, and so you have this hand of basically bonus cards that everybody knows you're just stacked with points, or not. It could just be a bluff, but either way, that game is perfect for every player count. Because I was thinking about it, because her brother came and visited us, and I broke out Trois as the game I was going to play. I've been waiting for him to come over for what felt like years because he loves board games, and I brought out Trois. Trois I love. It's one of my top 3 of all time.
He would have loved it too, but there
were other people, and I forgot some of the rules, so I had to keep looking in the rule book, and it was a mess. It was an absolute disaster, and I sat by myself after that and just thought, and it was like, if this happens again, what is the game I'm going to bring out? What is the best party game that also has a lot of strategy and is going to be fun for everybody and also has a lot of play interaction, so not everybody's just sitting there playing by themselves? Boom. Castles of Mad King Ludwig is my absolute number 1 party game to introduce to anybody, new players especially, of all time. For sure. 100%.
Yeah. I would go out on a limb and say that it's a pretty perfect game.
There's nothing, I have no complaints about that game.
I don't either.
I have absolutely no complaints.
It's one of my, top 10.
So yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page for the end. And sometimes we disagree in the beginning, but we meet back in the middle in the end. Whatever that means. Guys, here's the thing. We want to know, seriously, we both loved reading the comments that have people's top 10 games in there. So guys, what are your top 10 games for a couple? Or it could just be for 2-player games or whatever, but we really would like to know. So as far as I'm concerned, guys, this was basically a double date. I hope you guys had a great time, because we had a great time with you guys. So please leave us your top 10 games for couples or just 2 players in the comments. And please like and subscribe if you want to be a part of this community and get our content that comes out, because we're going to keep on putting it out. Yes, that is new. Thank you. Discord, guys. I have created a Discord called Chits and Chats, believe it or not. And we can all chat now about chits or anything else that you want to talk about. So please, the link to our Discord is going to be in the description below. Guys, join us. Please come talk, come hang out, and whatever. Love is in the air. All right, take it easy, guys. Till next time. Thank you.